Welcome to the Big 12.
It's a monster league. It's a great league.
Where no one can take a night off.
We'll figure out how to make it look cute some other time. Right now, let's just keep winning.
Where no one feels sorry for you when injuries hit.
She was National Player of the Week on a fractured ankle.
A young person's long-term health is much more important than half of basketball.
Where rivalries thrive.
This is against K-State, so we were, excited for this.
Where upsets are manufactured. And yet, March is still 2 months away.
We love to win ugly and still learn from that win.
I thought we showed a lot of resilience.
Big 12 basketball just getting started, and K-Nation starts now.
That's off the record. That's off the record.
K-Nation, sponsored by 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Tonight on K-Nation, we're keeping it on the record, a roller coaster of a Sunflower Showdown. No matter who you were rooting for, the biggest shots and post-game reaction from coaches and players after a 40-minute duel in Manhattan.
Plus, for the first time in a quarter of a century, Jayhawk soccer has a new head coach. Nate Lee joins the program to tell us why he's the man for the job and why KU was the place for him.
And college football never stops. Staff changes, roster additions, and seniors coming back for one more year. We're tracking it all right here, right now.
Welcome into K-Nation. Glenn Kinley alongside Landon Reinhardt. A big Sunflower Showdown in Manhattan yesterday. Also a new coach and a new media guest are going to join the show. A whole lot more. We're going to start with the number 3 basketball team in America.
About as different of 2 games as you can find for Bill's Health Squad this week. Maybe the best hoops that KU's played all season in a beatdown at Oklahoma State, and then a what happened at West Virginia. Hawks fall 91-85 in Morgantown. Coach Self said it was all about the defense. How can the Hawks shoot 64% in the first half and be tied? He said that, and he called his team's defense optional. Still, it came down to the very, very end, a 2-point game with 20 seconds. This play right here, Marco Jackson called on a very close foul call. Bell Self irate on the sideline. Here's what he had to say about that call after the game.
I didn't think it was a foul, but regardless if it's a good call or bad call, it's not irrelevant. But from a coach's perspective, we put ourselves in that position. Yeah, we could have done a much better job to do some things where that call wasn't near as important.
It was definitely a poor defensive game. Our intensity from the jump, you got to get them off the 3-point line, run them off, do a better job on closeouts and scouting report. So yeah, we definitely got some things to clean up, but a quick turnaround and got to be ready on Monday to compete.
Big 12 never sleeps. Kansas 1 game out of first in the conference now. Jayhawks host Cincinnati tomorrow night as part of ESPN's Big Monday.
I think I'll go to that one, Landon.
I'll be happy to see you there.
It was a 2-win week for Tang's team. The Cats began the week with an upset against number 9 Baylor on Tuesday. In it, K-State improves to 10-0 in overtime games under Jerome Tang. And that big 4-point play right there from Arthur Kaluma served to be the game winner. Also, Tang's now 3-0 against his old boss,
Head coaching's easy, Glenn.
What's going on out here? Then yesterday, Kansas State comes from behind to beat Oklahoma State. That banked 3 from Cam Carter gave K-State the lead, but back and forth in the final minutes. And that clutch bucket as the shot clock was running low gave K-State the lead for the game and for good. And that was the game winner. Kaluma with the game winner midweek, and then 23 against the Pokes. Coach Tang now on the junior forward.
Arthur's clutch. I think we got several dudes who are clutch. I think what Arthur did at the end of the half was he stopped trying to just drive the ball or make plays for other people, which were leading to turnovers, and he just shot the ball. I just told him, just shoot. I freed him up. He saw it go in, and then, he was really good.
Check this out. 10 of K-State's 18 games have been decided by single digits. The Cats have a big week ahead at Iowa State on Wednesday, at Houston on Saturday. That doesn't sound like an easy 2-game stretch.
No, not at all.
Not that there are any easy 2-game stretches in the Big 12.
In the Big 12, no matter how you line it up, in the 10 of 18 games, win or lose, you're going to have fun watching K-State basketball.
Absolutely. The Jayhawks will look to bounce back tomorrow, but then they got to get a win on the road. It almost is feeling like Groundhog Day for them. They lose on the road, they get a win at home, and you think they're okay.
We say it every week, gauntlet of the Big 12.
Absolutely.
And we also say this every week, football never sleeps. We'll start with Lance Leipold's squad. There's good news. And bad news, Glenn, let's start with the good news.
All right, let's do that. We can confirm now that all 3 of the Jayhawks' top starting wide receivers will return next season. That's Lawrence Arnold, Luke Grimm, and now Quentin Skinner.
That's a good group.
The trio produced 1,900 yards and also 14 touchdowns this past season. And they'll have Jalen Daniels throwing the football to him. Not bad. And they were also pretty good in that guaranteed rate bowl, Landon.
Yeah, well, I'll add the bad news now, though. Football Scoop is reporting co-defensive coordinator Jordan Peterson is taking over as a safeties coach at Texas A&M. Peterson's been on staff since 2020 and helped coach Kobe Bryant and Mello Dotson to all Big 12 honors.
All right, Texas A&M not making friends with football fans in Kansas. As for the Cats' new shiny weapon for Avery Johnson, how about a commitment from Penn State wide receiver transfer Dante Cephas? He caught 22 passes for 246 yards and 2 scores for the Nittany Lions this past season. But before that, he spent 4 years with Kent State and racked up some really impressive numbers. A fun fact, he'll also be back with his former wide receivers coach at Kent State, Matthew Middleton, who's now the wide receivers coach at Kansas State.
And I'm going to go ahead and ban Texas A&M from K-Nation.
We don't like the Aggies
You're
right
not
now.
allowed on the show
Hey,
anymore.
We got a football coach leaving, but another coach sticking around a bit longer. Landon, let's talk about it.
Yeah, women's tennis coach Todd Chapman, he signed a 3-year extension through the 2027 season earlier this month. He's been at Kansas for 11 years now. The team won its first ever Big 12 title in 2019, advanced to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament that season. Jacks have been to the tourney 6 times since 2016 and finished 13th in the final rankings in 2019. Coach Chapman tells us the extension is a great vote of confidence from AD Travis Goff.
The value is felt on both sides, I believe, and the vision that you have as a coach is matched or mirrored by the vision that he has and the administration has for our program. And I think it just gives you a sense of confidence that, you know, that you're on the same page with your boss. We have a group that's highly motivated. I think they want to do well. I think they want to achieve a lot this spring. I think they believe they can.
Hey, file this next one under things that Glenn and Landon didn't know.
Science.
They have to use different tennis balls at different altitudes so that it bounces the same and doesn't fly all around. So when they play at BYU or at Colorado next season, less pressurized balls.
Come for this show for sports. Stick around for the science and learning.
That's right.
Educational
We're
programming.
getting into Mythbusters territory. Don't go anywhere. We're just getting started. Coming up on K-Nation, Ben Boyle, K-State men's basketball's ESPN Plus play-by-play host. He's going to join us in studio to tell us what's going right to have the Cats at the top of the conference.
But first, over in Cats land, 2 teams with sky-high expectations this year. The top plays and post-game interviews from the Sunflower Showdown and women's hoops.
Searching for a career in advanced manufacturing or industrial automation? Manhattan Area Technical College's new Industrial Engineering Technology applies science and engineering through theory and hands-on application of skills. Learn more at manhattantech.edu.
Hi, this is voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you will be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. For 24/7 non-judgmental support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Protect your home from sudden power outages with a Generac home standby generator installed by Shockwave Electric's certified experts. Call Shockwave Electric for all your commercial and residential electrical services.
Fidelity State Bank and Trust, Topeka, empowering customers since 1922.
Many of our small business customers are experts at what they do, but there's simply not enough hours in the day for them to be experts in all the financial services that are available to them. We can be that for them, and that's how we do business right here at home.
Fidelity Bank, we do business right here at home.
Jungle House has moved, and we would love to show you around our new digs. Bring a new friend to school with you that will add life to your dorm room or apartment. We have plans for all. Find us at our new location, 6 East 7th Street, Lawrence, Kansas.
Manhattan Area Technical College will help you build a foundation for your college career, like transferable credits offered in your high school, earning your high school diploma through GED completion on our campus. Breakthrough to a new career. Manhattan Tech, providing higher education.
Welcome back to K-Nation. We got the Sunflower Showdown to talk about in women's hoops, but first, some news. It was kind of a wild week.
Very unexpected
women's
news.
hoops. We were fired up to see Aoka Lee versus Tiana Jackson, two of the best centers in America.
In all of the nation, yeah.
And then we didn't see hardly both of them in the game.
Didn't see one of them entirely. K-State center Aoka Lee, she's approximately out for 4 weeks. She underwent ankle surgery Friday morning after an MRI Thursday night revealed a minor fracture. Crazy part, she was named National Player of the Week last week, and she already had that injury.
Yeah, that injury came against UCF, and then she played 2 games on it after.
And then there's also an injury bug for Tiana Jackson, Twin Jackson. It's a strange graphic you see there. She only played 5 minutes in the Sunflower Showdown. She got multiple teeth knocked out of her mouth. Coach Brandon took her out of the game after that.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about the basketball now, and it was a little bit more fun than the injury news. And we got to start with this. An electric atmosphere, 9,600, in fact, north of 9,600 in Bramlage Coliseum for this one. Early, it was that Gap Goat defense standing strong. The Jayhawks managed just 8 points in the first quarter, but the lid really did come off in the second quarter and beyond for Kansas. Great game down the stretch.
Just good basketball.
It was. K-State leads by as many as 15. KU cuts it down to 6 at the half, and with 4 minutes to go, Holly Kerskeeter's free throw makes it a 1-possession game, but you just saw that huge 3 from Ziana Walker. Brought the crowd to life.
They played Sandstorm.
Put K-State back up by 8 points. The home team has won every game, and not K-State, I mean whoever is hosting has won every game in this rivalry dating back to 2019.
When we play KU, it's just different, and you can feel that in the game. I know I had a little bit more pregame nerves than I usually do. I think just the crowd and the atmosphere, knowing how much this game means to this community and our team. So it was intense, and it's a rivalry, and that stands to be true. That's fun basketball.
Maybe like little sequences of the games when we weren't doing so well, the crowd was always there, and they were always full of energy, which gave us energy back.
Coach Schneider echoed that after the game. He was complimentary of that Kansas State crowd, saying the energy was infectious. No win, but certainly a lot to be proud of with how his team competed without one of their best players.
I thought we showed a lot of resilience. You know, think about an environment like this is the energy and the juice doesn't necessarily have to belong to the home team. You know, you got to find a way to take some of that energy and steal it, if you will. I thought that there were moments in the game that we were able to do that.
Sure fought hard. Jayhawks lost at number 11 Texas earlier in the week. Now 9-9, 2-5 in the Big 12. They host number 24 Iowa State on Wednesday. And earlier in the week, K-State picks up a win in the conference.
A 2-0 win.
But not overall. Game versus TCU canceled. The Horned Frogs saw a slew of injuries. We're down only 6 scholarship players and had to cancel.
They didn't ask us to suit up. We would have.
No, I have 4 years of eligibility.
I don't want to guard you got to guard Aoka Lee.
Yeah. And for the 7th-ranked Cats, number 3, 4, and 6 all lost this week. Rankings come out tomorrow. But before that, Glenn.
After the break, if you don't know him, you're going to know him in a few minutes. After 25 years, new leader for KU soccer, Nate Lee, up next.
Need your fireplace inspected? Make sure you and your family are safe this winter and avoid being a statistic. Certified Fireplace and Chimney now has openings as soon as this week. No need to wait months to be seen. Call or text us today to schedule your appointment.
There's a new sense of pride in Topeka, and local business is key to the success of our community. Local business is the backbone of our economy, and its strength drives our prosperity. Please patron Topeka's local business leaders like Heartland Floors, A&H Farm, and 3 Sons Mobile Detailing.
Growing the market for Kansas-made E15 is a win-win for Kansans. What's E15? It's fuel with 15% ethanol compared to the usual 10% in regular unleaded. E15 is more affordable, has better performance, and runs cleaner than regular unleaded, meaning Kansas drivers can go further for less. From helping Kansas farm families by stabilizing grain prices, helping Kansas become more energy independent, and adding more than 4,000 jobs in Kansas, more of our money stays right here at home because of ethanol. Visit fueledbykansas.com to find a station near you.
As Americans, we enjoy many freedoms: life, liberty, and the pursuit of good beer. Not all beers fulfill the lofty expectations on which our founding fathers built this country. As Americans, we remain free to drink any beer we choose. The Blind Tiger Brewery urges you to come in and try one of the principles that keeps us free. Blind Tiger Beer, simply American. This is Jay with the Blind Tiger Brewery, and I approve all craft beer, especially ours.
Minority entrepreneurs create jobs and contribute to the cultural and social fabric of our society, helping make our communities strong and diverse. Join us as we highlight a minority business Wednesday at 6 p.m. on 27 News.
Everyone dreams of having a stunning fireplace for their home, so why not make your dream a reality? Certified Fireplace and Chimney specializes in making these dreams come true. And now with in-home renderings and no interest payment plans, it's never been an easier decision. Call or text today.
Welcome back to K Nation. Jayhawks welcome Nate Lee as their new head coach of soccer after he's at Xavier for the last 7 years.
Yeah, he's still getting settled in on campus, but I sat down with Coach on Friday to talk about his transition into this Jayhawk program. By the time that our viewers see this, you'll have been in Lawrence, Kansas for an entire week.
Yes, sir.
How have you been getting settled in? How have things been going so far? I know you're excited, but it's got to feel like drinking out of a fire hose.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting time of year that I was hired, and I came to Lawrence for 2 or 3 days with the family, and then I went back to where they were in Cincinnati, and then I came back to Lawrence, went back to Cincinnati for the holidays, and finally, and I've been waiting for this, have moved out to Lawrence permanently. So I'm in temporary housing. It's been a while since I've had bachelor life, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's great because it allows me to just focus on work and integrate with the community.
You're the first new soccer coach here in 25 years. Mark Francis was here for so long. How do you balance kind of carrying on what he built, but also maybe bringing in your own ideas and bringing in your own culture and even your own standard in a way?
No, it's a great question, and it's a responsibility that me and the rest of the coaching staff feel is to honor the coaching staff beforehand and before them, all the alums. Coach Francis did an amazing job, and it's not like we have to make a big fix or a big turnaround. So we have to honor those before us while still implementing our new style on the field, off the field.
What should Jayhawk fans know about you, whether that's personally or your coaching style or what you bring to the soccer program or what you want to build, or what do they need to know?
Sure. I'd probably start with my family. So my wife, Emily, 3 kids, Michael, Grace, and Josh are the most important thing in my life. You'll see them running around at games and whatnot. As it relates to on-the-field things, that identity, selflessness, sacrificing for the team, starting on our defensive side of the ball out of possession, being willing to press and being willing to work with your teammates. And that's the first thing we did in video. This is going to be our #1 core identity, is pressing defensively. And so I think if you're going to come out and watch us play, hopefully the other team doesn't have the ball much.
Yeah.
Hopefully the game is played a lot in our offensive half. And then once we get the ball, hopefully we play an exciting brand of soccer.
I'm interested, a lot of the talk is why are you the right guy for KU, but why was KU the right place for you? I don't want to make assumptions, but you probably had other coaching opportunities prior to this offseason, including this offseason. Why was it that you decided you wanted to come to Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good thing going at Xavier, and it was a really, really hard place to leave for me personally. Cincinnati is home for my family, and so I've said this before, it was going to take a special opportunity to get us to leave Xavier and to get to leave Cincinnati, and I very much believe that this is like the one. Kansas City, let's start with good players make good coaches, and so you want to have the ability to recruit at a high level. We've assembled a staff that we think we can do that, and it certainly helps when your home base is talent-laden. Being close to Kansas City, it's a great region to recruit and a great city to start off with. I think Kansas athletics is at the most exciting point in a long time, maybe ever, and that's probably due a lot to the leadership of Travis Goff. You know, part of the reason we're having issues with facilities right now and training inside is because we're doing a almost $500 million renovation on the football stadium. Everything is moving forward, and you feel that momentum. You know, Rock Chalk Park is one of the best facilities in the country. Our training facility on campus it's game pitch, like.
Have you gotten to know some other coaches on campus? I know you're bringing some coaches with you. I'm not sure if you've heard there's a basketball coach here that they really like, and there's a football coach who is really doing some special things here. Have you gotten to know either of those guys or other coaches on campus?
And one of the things that's pretty special about this place is people go out of their way to say hello. And a soccer coach oftentimes can be in the shadows, and that's not how it's treated here. Coach Self came up and introduced himself to me personally. Coach Bouchard's office is right down in the corner, and when I was on campus, they were playing an NCAA tournament game later that day. Definite correspondence from the football team, and they were busy getting ready to go win a bowl game. You can feel the community, you can feel the family, and the coaches have gone out of their way to say hello.
Coach, I think I'm excited for this new era of Kansas soccer. I know that you're excited, and I'm sure that our Jayhawk viewers are excited too. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Coach is excited, Landon's excited, Glenn's excited. Up next, we got Ben Boyle in studio. We're talking K-State basketball, the good, the bad, and what's next for the Cats? That's next.
Car wrecks don't just happen from 9 to 5. If you're in a wreck, we're available 24/7.
Don't wait until tomorrow to get the help you need now. In a wreck, need a check?
Patterson Legal is the way to go. Call 431-0000.
Hi, Clay Sherwood, Swims and Sweeps. I'm here with Frank and Dean, the CEOs of Cute. We have Hearthstone wood-burning stoves and fireplaces. We have electric fireplaces. So let Swims and Sweeps keep you warm this winter.
Here in Kansas, thousands of car accidents happen at intersections just like this.
But if you've been injured, you're at another kind of crossroads. Can you trust the insurance company, or should you call a lawyer?
In our experience, there's only one way to go. We've seen how insurance companies take advantage of people.
So if you want the financial and legal protection that only a lawyer can provide, remember,
Devon James wins. Call or text 888-8888.
Meaningful relationships built upon trust is a founding principle of the Trust Company. We help individuals and businesses create tailored financial plans and diversified investment strategies that adapt over time to your unique needs. Because we are independent, we can offer flexibility and creativity that many advisors and trust departments can't. If you aren't sure where to start or you're looking to make a fresh start, contact us today for a free consultation.
The biggest stars start the morning with Today. This week, Austin Butler, Michelle Yeoh, Dwayne Wade, all here live. And Tuesday, Dolly Parton with a big announcement, only on Today.
Big truck accidents have resulted in big money for our clients.
In a wreck, need a check? Call us today.
Patterson Legal is the way to go. Call 431-0000.
Welcome back to K-Nation. We're going to talk Wildcat basketball now. And we got a guy who you've seen on your TV screens before, but you haven't seen on K-Nation before.
Seen him on your TV and heard him on your TV if you've watched the games. We've got Ben Boyle in. He calls the non-con games for K-State men's basketball. We'll just start with this. No introduction, no welcome to the studio. How did they get 2 wins this week? A lot of chaos.
Yeah, what a week for Kansas State. I mean, 2 home wins where it looked like they were dead in the water there coming down the stretch, and they just found a way to kind of pull them out there in the final 5 minutes. Kind of the reverse of what happened on the road at Texas Tech, where they had that 9-point lead late and then it just evaporated. And you got to feel like Baylor and then also Oklahoma State walked out of Bramlage kind of thinking what K-State did in Lubbock's like, how'd we lose that game? So a lot of momentum going into this week and 2 road games at Iowa State and
Defending
Houston.
home court in the Big 12, big thing. They're doing that right now.
Yeah. Talk to us about this. K-State basketball this year, it feels like they have a lot of guys who are really good, but I don't know if they have one guy that you say you're not stopping him no matter what. There's positive and negative to that, right? It's great that you have 4 or 5 guys that can hurt you, but it's also great, you kind of want one guy who can take over the game.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think there's more depth this year, and you're starting to see that play out now that they're into conference season. I mean, you're getting contributions from some of those guys off the bench, but you've got that trio, probably one of the highest scoring trios in the Big 12 with Tyler and Cam and Arthur, and what a game by Arthur last night. When he steps up and plays that well, K-State's really hard to beat.
Yeah, it feels like maybe sometimes I think some of these guys struggle when they're the guy that's the primary focus of the scouting report. Like when Cam Carter scores 25, the next game the team's prepping to stop Cam Carter, and it's harder for him to score. But when he's prepped to stop Cam Carter, then Arthur might beat you, or then Tyler might beat you.
Yeah, I think you've seen that depth develop throughout the season, and I think roles have been more defined now. I mean, they went through that period in December. You had Tomlin leave. Had some great wins over Villanova, and then Quez Glover gets hurt. But I think they've kind of gone to, okay, we got to defend and rebound now, and that's their new identity. And now they've become one of the best defensive teams in the Big 12. I think they're holding teams to, 61 points a game in Big 12 play. Only Houston is better. And so they've gone from a team that was maybe more offense-based in the non-conference to like understanding their roles now. And you're seeing Tyler Perry like really defend. And maybe it's hurt his offense a little bit, because he's really getting after it defensively. I've seen a big improvement there. And so that's kind of what they've hung their hat on here in the Big 12 play, and it's paid off.
Hanging the hat on that defense, Bruce Weber would be proud. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You talk about the improvements. You've been around since the beginning of this team, calling the non-con games. What were some areas that you were iffy about that once they've gotten a Big 12 play, you're like, okay, they've figured this out?
Well, I think it's still a work in progress. What I've seen in Big 12 play is better shot selection, and I think we've seen them be a little bit more efficient offensively. The turnovers are still a problem. They had 17 last night, and I know Coach wants to see that number come down, but you look at their numbers shooting-wise. In non-conference play, I did the Chicago State game, and at the end of that game, they were at 30% from three-point range on the year. And now you look at their numbers through 5 games in the Big 12, they're shooting 36%, which is now at the top of the Big 12.
There are no easy weeks in the Big 12, but this week for Kansas State is especially not easy. They go to Iowa State and they go to Houston, two of the better teams in the Big 12, and that's saying something. What does K-State have to do to find a way to get – I think if they go 1-1 this week, you're probably not complaining.
Be happy.
Yeah, well, I think Coach – keeps preaching that it's a one-game season. So, obviously they're going to take them one game at a time, but I think anytime you go on the road, you just want to get yourself in position down the stretch to have a chance to win the game. And, I mean, the Big 12 is insane this year. There's been so many close games. Whether you're the home team or the road team, teams are going to compete, and you just want to have a chance in that final 5 minutes. And I think this team, when they get to that situation, they believe they can win, and it's that culture of winning that's been developed under Coach Tang.
He always says it, 1-0, what's next after each win? Ben, thanks for coming in.
Magic is next. So.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
All right,
man.
thanks, guys.
Stick around. We have more K-Nation coming up after the break.
Batter up at Play It Again Sports. We offer an extensive selection of new and used baseball and softball equipment from Wilson, Easton, Rawlings, Louisville Slugger, DeMarini, String King, Dudley, Mizuno, Marucci, and Nakona. We have custom uniforms. Try before you buy with our indoor batting cage. Bring in your quality used gear to save even more by trading in and trading up, or get cash on the spot. We are buying all day, every day. Play It Again Sports, 21st and Fairlawn in the Fairlawn Plaza Mall.
If you've been injured and think you can't afford a lawyer, think again. There's no upfront cost to hire me and my team, and absolutely no fee until we win your case.
It didn't cost me any money up front to hire Mike and his team after my car wreck.
I didn't pay them a penny until my case settled. The money they got me paid for my surgery and put over $225,000 in my pocket.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Call 785-444-4444.
Every time I wake up and I look out, I'm in awe. I love it.
It's kind of our staycation. We were extremely pleased with the whole process, from the bid through the completion of the project. It's just exceptional quality.
It is. It's beautiful.
You could just tell that they were true professional craftsmen.
Let us help make your dream project become a reality. Call today or visit our website. We are your home remodeling specialist.
I've been where you are. It just took someone to believe in me for me to understand.
And a whole lot of people lining up to believe in me.
All it takes is one.
These men, they don't mess around.
I hope they hear me. Neither do I.
She knows how to take care of herself.
Safety's on, Davy Crockett. Sometimes you gotta handle things yourself. Kinda my motto. I hope they hear me.
Sundays at 11 on 27 KSNT.
Welcome back. We'll close out the show with some baseball news for you. Big honor for both the Jayhawks and Wildcats, starting with Coach Fitzgerald's squad in Lawrence. The JBB, a publication covering junior college baseball. Well, they've been named, and then they have named, I should say, Kansas as the top junior college recruiting class for the second year in a row.
Going back to back.
8 ball players coming to KU from JUCO, and 8 really good ones.
Down the road in Manhattan, Pete Hughes' squad starts the season with a top 25 ranking, slotted in at number 24 by D1Baseball.com after missing the tourney last season.
They're back with revenge, and we might have some interviews with those guys coming up soon.
Doubt them, I dare you.
Hey, thanks for watching K-Nation. Join us next Sunday. Join us every Sunday.
Have a great week.
I've been a head coach for 26 years. And I thought that was the best road student section of a game that I've ever been a part of.
This crowd was different. They cheered when we needed to make a big play. And that was really, I think, a special moment of being in the game.